Hey there, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. But before I take you to the show, I have a very small request to make. Do check out the other episodes that we have created so far and follow us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe to our channel. We are fairly new on YouTube, so this will help us to cater to a wider audience, reach a wider audience, and better our podcasting experience and yours as well. Along with that, I have another request. We are also there on Instagram, and our page is at Please Say That Again Mate. We'll find all the latest updates on the episodes, upcoming episodes, and much more. And with that, I'll take you to your show without a delay. Thank you so much. Hello, all of you beautiful people of the world, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devyo Sajano. Episode number 99, I guess, if I remember it correctly. Just 901 episodes more to go for 1,000 episodes. Priya, don't sweat because that's how much we are gonna stop. I mean, nothing less than that.
Yes.
All right. So your yes didn't show much of conviction.
The answer is
but
yes. It was like that. It was so with conviction that the answer is YES. Yes.
I thought, why? Why was the answer?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you want to do 1,000 episodes?
Because there was a pause after Y. Anyway. It wasn't my
But before we start the show, before we talk about the topics, I quickly want to dwell upon this, the Indian Premier League, the incredible Premier League that's happening. Priya, you must be knowing about it, right?
yeah.
Sports.
Also the chaos which has been happening after RCB loss. So
RCB, I mean, come on, RCB is in their form, in their actual form, where they score too many runs and then lose at the end. So that's going in their favor. That's how they have dealt with for last 14 seasons. But the hype, the hype is MS Dhoni. That guy walked on the pitch to bat, played 3 deliveries, scored 2 sixes. On the third one, he got out and went back. And that was the highlight of that match. End of the story. The entire Chennai stadium, Chepauk Stadium, welcomed him with flashlights. Like the stadium was lit with flashlights. He
and why
came,
MS
delivered 2 sixes and 2 deliveries. On the third one, he got out and he went. It was the 20th over, so it didn't make sense as well.
Yeah.
But the hype that is around him, oh my god! I mean, the commentators would. I mean, talking about commentators, Geo Cinema, Bhojpuri commentary, top class. It has immediately taken over Hotstar, Star Sports, everything. They are like incredible. They call Mahendra Singh as Mahendra Bahubali Dhoni. It just cracks me.
petition to just
But
watch like especially like IPL matches in Bhojpuri commentary. So it will be fun, na?
array, it's too much fun, dude. It's too much fun. Someone who like fell down while fielding or taking a catch and couldn't like dropped it eventually, dropped the catch. So he was still lying down. Maybe he got injured or something. And the Bhojpuri commentator said, "Ki, I mean, I'm just translating it for our listeners. That why is he crying? Why?" So it didn't mean they didn't mean to disrespect him, but the tone is that it meant like that person is crying. So
Rog
it was hilarious. Apart from that, there was this beast of a final over, and KKR won the match. Rinku Singh was that batsman. So they basically needed 29 of the last 6 balls, last over. Umesh Yadav, who was the bowler, he like took a single, gave it to Rinku Singh. Now it's 28 of 5. He hit 5 sixes in a row. Bang, 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 bang. Everybody was crazy. Everybody was, yeah. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan himself was not able to believe it. So it was. So this all of this hype is going. All of this thing is, it's a good time pass. Summers, sitting with family watching this, and I hope our listeners are also having good fun. Priya, I don't think that you quite get interested into sports
Yeah, I don't, KGB, frankly, I don't. But then,
unless it's Olympics, right?
unless it's, yes, Olympics. And I did watch, like, when I remember, like, when you mentioned with family, I remember watching Olympics when, um, no, not at that
Neeraj Chopra.
time. No. Yeah, Neeraj Chopra was at that time, we all were watching. And then before that, my bua was here and we were watching badminton.
P- PV Sindhu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was fiery match. It was, we all were like biting nails and come on, and there was that. And when she won bronze, we all were very happy. I remember celebrating because mummy made some sweets at that time just for Olympics, so that was something else.
beauty. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of our families,
Yes.
and
She's
celebrating
not
the
even
little things.
related to us. She's not even related to us, like दूर दूर से.
Exactly.
But then also she was like कि इंडिया में medals आ रहे हैं तो
Of
this.
course.
I'll not forget that. Moving on.
Great
Yeah.
gestures on the sporting ground, but they're not so great gestures by Mr. Khan, Mr. Salman Khan. Would you like to talk about that, Priya?
Yeah, what is happening? Like so many statements from him, from his mouth coming out, which are should not be published. And then one of those included about OTT platforms to follow some norms where language should be taken care of and all. But then this is hypocrisy. I told you that Big Boss is known for uh, the obviously the scenarios and inside private videos leaked and all these videos are still there, and then language which Rakhi Sawant and all, they make memes and all. And then the person who is hosting this show for last, I don't know, 5 6 years.
More than that, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And he himself.
don't you think that because it's aired on television, still there's a lot of censorship? Maybe the words are beeped or few things are cut in the final version of Big Boss because it's aired on national television, right? But if you think about OTT,
Hmm.
there's absolutely zero filters. Like I just
Mirzapur.
remember, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I just remember my mother, because we all know about the scams that happen on phones, right?
Hmm.
They'll send you a text, an OTP, and all of that Jamtada thing that's there.
Hmm.
So Jamtada is in Jharkhand, so people
Hmm.
know about that place, and they know about the scams that happen. So
Hmm.
my mom was very interested in watching that show, and
Hmm.
she somehow found it on Netflix thumbnails, and she started watching. In the first episode, she said that it's actually interesting. The show is interesting. The story is very relatable, very good. But because of the abuses, it's so difficult to sit and watch it.
Acha. But then
And
same for Big Boss again.
I mean, nobody watches Big Boss anyway. I mean, I'm talking about the sheer abuses.
Hmm.
Okay, those things might be filtered because it's a national television. You cannot show that. Clear case of censorship on national. They might be beeping the words or something. They might be fighting in a weird way or all of those things. That's fine. But
Okay.
specific to the words I'm talking about.
I agree with your ideology behind this, but then the idea behind directors approving that yes, this language should be included to protect the authenticity. For example, I might be making sense. Just trust me on it. For example, let's take Mirzapur. I said, or let's take even Jamtara. So
Mhm.
when you're with these people, uh, you are living in Jharkhand. You can see how local people talk. You can see
True.
sometimes they'll use that language. So to actually show the raw version of how these people interact with each other, or I agree upon the fact that this language, and then only 18 plus should be allowed or 16 plus should be allowed, that thing is there. But then of course parents would not be comfortable watching it on, like, in their at their home sitting and watching these
So,
things.
who's your target audience in that case? Because if you don't
I
want
think it's just
families to sit and watch it together,
then
whom
it's
do you
just
want?
18 to, like, 30, 40,
I mean,
40.
even if 18 plus, but you watch separately. Like
Correct.
one person watches on their device, one person at a time. So that is the, I mean, that is something that I have an objection to, because if I cannot watch something with my family,
What's
so
the use
there,
of like sharing? Even I was concerned when a few days back my mother asked me that I do not have access to your Netflix account and your Prime and all, because my friends were telling me that have you watched this show? Have you watched this particular thing? और ये कौन सा है ये आलिया भट्ट न्यू मूवी आई वांट टू वॉच गंगूबाई.
yeah,
तो अभी सब जगह there are some sections where they have they wanted it to be just raw, and for the sake of that they have included such language, which is, I think, yeah. But then Bhaiya, speaking of like reality check, you cannot exclude it. You cannot.
I mean, of course. See,
Ah,
what the point is, I totally agree to what you're saying, because that's how raw things
it's
are
gonna
shown. Okay,
work. Yeah.
but in case of, I mean, this is what this is. This is not a live footage, right? It's a creative thing. It's something that has been created by directors, actors, and people around.
Hmm.
So in that creative, as a part of the creative, you know, creative action,
Agree.
these, I mean, few things can be. It's not that if at the end of the sentence you won't speak that abusive word, that sentence won't be impactful, or
Or
I
else
won't get the message.
they can do one thing actually. By the time we were talking, I figured out that one thing can be included, that while applying some filter,
Yeah,
that
just the
section is
audio version.
already that section is already omitted. Like you can see the lip sync happening, but then you cannot hear the voice. Or like Jamtara might not have those many scenes where such a language was used. I am assuming. I am assuming.
No,
So
it did
oh,
had.
okay. So then it will be difficult to like omit that section.
But
And
you are very right on this. Like, if I think this way, on Netflix there are multiple audio options for users, right? You can listen this in English, in Hindi,
yeah,
in Tamil, Telugu,
languages. Yeah. Hmm.
right? So Hindi, there is one thing called Hindi original, which is like the original audio.
Hmm.
There could be another thing, Hindi censored, right?
Yes,
Which
correct.
is,
Correct. Which
which
parents
could
can
be
click and they'll be like, okay, let's watch like the censored part. So this
perfect,
can
yeah.
be one. Hmm.
And people who are hostlers, who don't have anyone to, no one's watching them, they can watch the raw footage, or the
Hostel.
original one.
We we as people, like normal people, also we watch. There are no such.
I mean, just because, I mean, this was running in my head, and then Salman Khan went on and said that in OTTs, such censorship should be needed, because he clearly, immediately after that sentence, he said that, how would you feel if your young daughter would be watching something like that at the age of 14, 15? Okay. I mean, okay, fine. The argument is that you have a choice to not
Hmm.
watch it. But at the end of the day, things are so accessible to everybody
True.
that
You
even if
cannot.
you don't have a choice, it will run in front of you,
Hmm.
right? I very recently, I'll tell this to you. It's a very recommended show. I'll recommend this to everybody. Rana Naidu, which
Hmm.
is very recently released on Netflix. Rana Daggubati, brilliant show, lovely story. I loved it, but it has so many abuses that I cannot recommend my parents to watch it. So
Yeah.
usually, what happens is, me and my mom, we talk a lot about good things to watch.
Hmm.
Like, have you watched this thing? Have you watched this concert, live concert of Arijit Singh? Have you seen this short film? All of these things. And actually, she takes out time and she watches those things. I so wanted her to watch Rana Naidu, but because of the language part, even Rana Daggubati in an interview said that it's not a family series. You better watch it separately with your own device, in your own devices. So it was, so this is how, good stories, actually something really great, watchable, relatable stories, won't attract that family audience kind
Hmm.
of.
And then division, like you cannot watch it at home. Even
Yeah.
you'll shy away from your like siblings are there, so you cannot watch these. Like in India, you cannot. It gets.
Imagine,
Hmm.
Priya, Family Man, one of the
So.
best shows ever made.
Uh,
Best shows ever made. You're just not able to watch it with your parents because of few abusive words in every episode. Like, could be one word per episode, but still it's there, right? It causes that awkwardness. Believe it or not,
yeah.
nobody. I mean, it's things might be different in South Bombay, South Delhi, and places like that, but still, it's very. We have talked about it a lot. The
KGB,
situation.
South Bombay people will be traumatized if if they'll watch Manoj Bajpayee saying dash 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 dash. आ रहा हूँ.
चाबी कहाँ है?
Yes, so many are there, which has now become like under like statement for everyday life situation. So yeah.
Yeah, and
Also,
not. Yeah, go ahead.
many other events happening. Like my mother has been asking me about what is happening with the Ambani family. कुछ हुआ था क्या? Was there a
Oh,
art and culture center which is बहुत सुंदर? I've seen
they
buildings and all.
own
What is happening?
they
Yeah,
own what they want. They can ask like the biggest. They can ask Biden to perform, at their kid's birthday party. I think this is what they
but
have.
but the project KGB, I really appreciate the idea behind the Nita Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center.
Yeah.
That they wanted to bring worldwide talent to India and offer such a beautiful stage. And in one place, you can find different sections, for example, fashion, and then shairi, and then music, then instrumental happening, singing happening, dance happening. And then KGBR checked the ticket costs. So we were
Hmm.
expecting that it will cross 700, 800 per person, but then they are affordable, by the way. So if we were in Mumbai, surely I can imagine us going to there is one already this thing has happened, 10th of April.
Okay.
I think Shabana Azmi and some other person, they were legendary poets were there, Kafi Azmi and all. तो उनकी
Oh,
कविताएं they elaborated, and in one of the section, so the ticket was just 500 rupees. We can afford it.
so I mean, so this entire cultural center is basically to promote Indian culture, different types of Indian culture, mostly all of the Indian culture, right?
Hmm.
And bringing such talent from like Gigi Hadid was here, right? All
Gigi.
those
Gigi.
Gigi,
You are also one of the
one of
Zhendaya.
the paps.
Tommy, Tommy.
Yeah, Spider-Man बनेगा रे तू. That
अरे
was my
उसका
favorite.
नाम गीगी नहीं है, उसका नाम जीजी. They were talking also with each other. उसका नाम जीजी है, जीजी.
Today I got to know. I'm just like, one of those common pap guys.
Boomers. No, but then yeah, it
So
was fun.
yeah,
Mm.
they brought like she's one of the top models in the world, the highest paid model in the world, and
The
she
yeah.
all of that crowd, if they brought, so it basically there cannot be a bigger promotion than this,
Yes.
right? So yeah, you were saying.
The level of secrecy they kept, I was just saying, oh my god, so many Hollywood people were there, and then all over worldwide musicians were also there, and uh, Indian recognized, like Anushka Shankar was there, and I quoted this line which she said that in front of you, that whenever we perform outside India, we can see how the gravitas and the glory with which they invite us, and every event is performed, and the level, it's just amazing. Now that it is gonna happen here in India, it's such a pride situation for us, because now we can, let's just say, we can afford this thing. afford these global platform. It's now accessible. I'm just saying it's 500 rupees per session. We can also attend. So more and more people will attend these shows. Local
Right.
artists are already struggling to just conduct one show. I've seen this in Pune. You
Yeah.
also told me that they put their own money just to,
To keep the
keep
art
that.
alive.
Yeah,
Exactly.
same thing happened in Kerala. Kalari Pair, to which I showed the videos to you. And the guy was paying from his own pocket, even in pandemic. Can you imagine? So it was
Wow.
a tough situation for them. So we kind of donated some money, but then this is tough for them. To keep the art alive is one situation. So I'm totally like into this idea of Ambani's putting their hand into cultural center. Yeah,
But what a huge event that was. What a huge event.
yeah,
I mean, nobody anticipated like something like this is going to happen. Suddenly the social media feed and everything was
did.
like, yeah, it was full of the activities that were happening there. But at the end of the day, it's a great, you can say, great initiative, because Ambanis are known for this. They
Yeah.
just buy things and make it free for the world. Like Geo Cinema, it's
Hmm.
free. It's free. Watch IPL for free in your favorite, like whatever language you wish to watch, and it's running so smooth. So all of these things matter at the end of the day. Geo initially was made free, which
No
brought the
matter how,
entire.
yeah, people are making fun of them being Gujaratis and all, but then they are doing their bit for the country. Yeah.
I mean, there must be some business out of it.
Mm,
It's not that they would pay off their pockets to
of
you
course.
and me, right? But this is the business model that people are looking for, and yeah, so truly commendable on this part. It was great. What's next? Are we done with this topic?
There were many other things happening related to AI. There's so many
Oh God.
which will make us sweat a little bit, and we might like have this thing before even saying that I'm gonna take a leave in corporate world. It's not now gonna be very difficult for us because AI tools can find out if people are sick from the tone of their voice. So this is,
So
yeah,
if you are lying for a sick leave, you
yeah,
might get caught because of the AI.
yeah. But then I was just thinking, giving it a thought that, for example, when we call our TS, sometimes we fake, and we do this, and we start
The
shivering.
fake.
I'm not okay. We, with our just consciousness, we gather all the courage to lie in front of them and make that voice. I'm just not okay. So, is it gonna differentiate that this is not their actual, if that tool is gonna employ like harmonics or the study of vocal patterns in human speech, this is what it's gonna do
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
to detect whether the person is sick or not, or or he or she is having cold or not. But then I think it'll take time.
See,
What do you say, Elizabeth?
I'll tell you what AI is basically.
Hmm.
So everything, every sample that's present out there in the world currently is fed to AI. Okay.
Yeah.
So what, like we talked about Chat GPT in that episode with Mayank Sinha, where he clearly mentioned everything until 2021 or September in this beta version which is out there right now. 2021 September or 2022 September, sorry, is fed in the AI model. So
Hmm.
whatever has happened in the world, whatever the current affairs, whatever you could think about, any questions and answers, okay, that is there. So let's say there's a country which has formed yesterday. Chat GPT won't be able to talk about it because
Yeah, then
it's
that's
the beta version. It's the beta version right now, where machine learning is not has not been applied. So what machine learning does is it automatically learns. The machine automatically learns what's happened. So something that has happened 5 minutes ago, the machine will learn about it automatically. You don't have to feed it. So that's the future. of chat gpt.
Not yet released or not yet functional. So,
Yes,
yeah.
once it's out there full fledged, this is what is going to happen. Next, talking about the AI thing. So whatever are the different this mm, voice tracking. So whatever are the different, voice
Pattern.
modulations as per different patterns of humans. Somebody just somebody who just woke up from a sleep, someone who's tired after running, after a workout. So all of these situations generate different voice, right?
Hmm.
People come up like happy voice is a different one, sad voice is a different one. So all of these samples are already available in the world. So I think that is being fed to the AI.
But
So
let's just
talking
say
about this,
humans are very good in faking
so even that could be fed, as a negative test.
that this is some fake
Yeah,
voice. You might.
these are the samples of fake voices. If somebody does that, you're gone.
There are
I
so
don't know if AI is made for our help or to destroy us. This was my first question
you.
whenever people
I
talk
mean,
about AI.
yeah. And now it can also that there was some news that it can now crack your password in less than a minute, and then AI chatbot called Chaos GPT. It has 5 goals, where the first one is to destroy humanity. So this
I
GPT
mean,
has
see,
started.
a lot of these things would be spoken about. But you know what will happen at the end? If, like in the previous episode, also we talked about if there is something that the government would realize that this is going to harm the
Hmm.
people in any form, they're just going to ban it because the world is running without chat gpt. World has been progressing without AI tools. It's not that without them we are stuck. There's a particular thing that cannot be done without an AI. There might be in future if we make ourselves dependent on it, right?
Hmm.
So these things people are very cautious about at this point. So I think it's going to be taken care, on a longer run.
I hope government should take care because it's very scary.
Yeah.
Robot movie now it's gonna come into action. Bhaiya, Rajnikant was right. It is man and robot.
Man of a
They'll
vision.
take away your girlfriends also. You never know.
I already vote against it. Or maybe I'm in favor because people whose girlfriends are, just take them away.
So,
Singles don't care about it.
uh, maybe
Do you watch those reels of Salman Khan where he's walking alone and people troll him as single?
so
I
many
love
and
those reels.
so many people are
I
walking.
l-
The exes are walking with their arms, with like his hand on his pocket and the bracelet, and then he's just with all the swag and all. Ah, wow.
Bye.
Bye bye. And there are so many comments appreciating all those dialogues from तेरे नाम कि बामन की लड़की के चक्कर में नहीं फंसे भाई ये they're fun to watch.
Love those memes. Yeah, love those memes.
Yeah, after watching that, I make sure to detox myself. So I just put Instagram for more than an hour, and then I'm like, now I'm back to life. I can see something.
I mean, it's very easy to manipulate Instagram. I mean, manipulate your mind to use Instagram. You know what I have been doing.
Hmm.
So this like anybody could fall in this trap. So whenever you post something, you have a tendency to keep logging in and keep checking if someone has commented, someone has liked,
Yes.
all of those things. What's happening? What's the reaction on your story or your post? What I did earlier is I saw that it's happening to me. Okay, so the very first thing that I did to stop it is if I posted something, I ensured that I posted while just before going to bed, and then I'll turn off the notifications. That was my first attempt. Then what actually happened was I delayed my sleep and I went back and watched it again. Typical human brain, you know. Typical human brain. Next thing, what I
Mm,
did, I
mm,
followed the timeline. Okay, this is the time that I'm gonna post
mm.
before sleeping. But next is what I'm gonna uninstall Instagram immediately after posting, and that worked. I just posted something, uninstalled, picked it up after like 2 days or 3 days. Life is normal.
Ladies and
And today,
gentlemen, it's KGB against Instagram.
no, it's
So
against my mind. It's against my mind. So
KGB.
anything that I feel like is like catching my attention for a longer span, and which is not something healthy.
Mm,
Okay, I'm not against Instagram. Like it's a good platform for so many people, but to promote their things.
mm.
But for me personally, doing that thing, restricting my sleep just to go ahead and check on what's happening, if someone has liked my picture, that a particular person has liked my picture or not, or who I mean who a particular person has viewed my story, all those normal things. But to counter that,
Yeah.
currently there's nothing. Like, I don't have any notifications on, nothing. Some on days I just forget opening Instagram, like I forget it's not even there on my phone screen.
Okay.
So I like later on realize. So at times what happens is my friends, including you, they you share some memes or some post or something, and I end up watching it after 2 days. So that's
So
something.
you're saying that anything which will contribute to harming your sleep cycle, which will disturb your attention span, and
Yeah,
eventually will leave you unhealthy in a way. So you'll just remove it from your life. Are you saying that, like for short span of time or something like that? Are you saying that?
I'll fight against it,
Yeah.
and
So
I'll
the
fight,
question
I'll
is,
find ways to fight.
yeah. So the question is, why haven't you done this the same thing to your past relationships?
With that, it's time to end the episode. It was wonderful talking to you, Priyanka Mishra. For the last time on Say That Again, mate, because you're fired.
I just made a valid point. I just made a valid point. Why have you continued for so long?
So actually, when single people eventually they get sweets, or when hostlers they eventually crack a wedding, they get crash a wedding, and they find so much food at zero cost, so they go mad. So that is what that's the reality of life,
Yeah.
and you can
So
take
you're
it into
talking about
perspective.
yourself. Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about yourself.
So that's
I'm,
what it is.
I'm pulling your leg. I'm really sorry.
No, but if you keep challenge on a serious note, if you keep challenging yourself with the things that you think are making you addicted to something, you can. It's very easy to control it. Very easy.
KGB, the practice you're saying, I've done this with myself, but not to this extreme. Like I'll have to uninstall it, or I have that control in myself. But then if it requires you to uninstall or like remove that app uh, by just logging out from that app permanently, do it, because it's a fight. I would say nowadays it's a fight, and
It's a
you
fight.
have to control it. But then this is a very I would say a game which you'll enjoy. It's a game with your brain, and you'll feel like this is a victory for me that I didn't open Instagram today for like whole 24 hours. So next day you'll feel okay,
Yeah.
1 hour spent, it's fine, more than enough. Let's
And
just not.
Priya, exactly. With time, what will happen? You'll get less interested into it,
Yes, exactly.
because
This
by that time you have already found out ways of you to spend your free time or get interested into some other thing,
mm, it just plays
and
with your
hence,
mind, and you'll find.
yeah, it will go out. One very stupid, just to counter my addictions, I sometimes try different weird things. So I was very fond of eating sweets, earlier,
Uh,
like years ago. Very fond of eating sweets. Like I could eat sweets like all night.
mm,
And so one day I realized that I'm gaining weight at a proportion which is injurious to health. It's not harmful, it's just injurious. So, what I did was I stopped it for 2 days, like a week or 2 weeks, completely zero sugar, not even like my tea was without sugar to that extent. Then what happened? I got so much of cravings one day, so much of
Mhm.
cravings that I thought it's a 2 week streak. Let me do something. I'll just have like a few of it, and that won't matter. I ended up having like some amount of sweets which was equivalent to what I would have eaten in the 2 weeks. Okay, it was that
Mhm.
huge. And I didn't stop myself deliberately. I knew that I'm doing it extra,
Mhm.
but I didn't stop myself deliberately because I knew, because I wanted to feel that guilt, have that guilt, that what is this that I've done.
You can see yourself getting destroyed, and that
Yes.
meme page where the girl is standing, and there is building at the back which is on fire.
Yeah,
This is what
exactly.
happens. But then KJ, didn't you feel that even less is more? Sugar, like even after a bite you feel like strike of
I
sugar.
I tell you, there have been times where like even a drop of sugar, even a pinch of sugar was too much sugar for me. And then there were times when I could eat like a bowl full of gulab jamuns
Mm,
without counting them, you know. So after that, continuing that part, like after having that all of the guilt that day, I started hating sweets, like hating.
yeah.
Strong word, but I used to do that. So
Mm.
even if I saw somebody eating sweets, I used to object it. And then that
Don't do
happened for,
that. Don't do
yeah,
that. uh,
then that happened for like a few months, and then I controlled myself. Then my mind was back to stable. Now even if I eat sweets, I won't be like
Feeling guilty.
guilty or anything.
Mm,
I'll enjoy that one gulab jamun if I'm eating it today,
mm,
because I know that it's not my addiction. It's not that today I have one, tomorrow I'll have the craving of eating five more. No,
mm.
if I'm having one, I'll limit myself to one and I'll enjoy this one. So addiction to anything, it's just like that.
Even
You remember
by the way.
that episode with Pooja where we did on the nutrition, we talked about sugar, which is more addictive than cocaine, as per a
Mhm.
Netflix documentary.
Mm.
So it is because the glucose, that's insulin that's generated in your body, it's so addictive, more than anything else in the world. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, any
very hard
addiction
to
can be
relate.
tackled.
Yeah, correct. Very hard to relate. I was just saying because since childhood, I've never been addicted to anything like food. Any food item I've never been addicted to. Just
Yeah.
fruits was my main source. That whenever I can, like it's time, and I can have fruits before 6 p.m. I consume it. But then,
You were addicted to good things then.
yeah,
That's not addiction, Priya. Come on,
I'm
you
just saying
South
that's why
Bombay.
it is very hard for me to relate when people say, I've been craving for, because after one bite, I'm not flexing it. After one bite, it's just enough for me. Enough. I have been craving for gulab jamun. I also love gulab jamun, but then after one bite, it'll be enough for me. So maybe it depends on people. So when you said that whenever you saw people having consuming sugar, I can completely understand that their perspective is very different. It'll take time for them to realize. Even chai
Hmm.
addiction is there. Chai addiction is just max. Chai and sutta addiction is another like level max. So I've seen people doing that before that they cannot shit, and then yeah, this takes
I
time
mean, yeah,
level, then you keep calm with it just the way you did that. I'm not I'll not judge anyone, but then I'll only consume this much. So the power of
yeah.
saying
I
no
mean,
is another thing, huh?
exactly. It's not that now it's not a part of my life. I love sweets.
Correct.
I even, but and I enjoy it now. It's not that I, out of some, anger, I'm eating it or something. I
Uh-huh.
just enjoy that, but I know the limitations, and knowing the limitations is
Full.
where you have gone
You,
good.
yeah, you can see yourself growing. You can see how
Yeah,
how you were at that time, and now how you have managed yourself so well that you just sometimes pat your back and say, "ये तो अच्छा अच्छा काम कर लिया अपन ने, सही हो गया." And then
true.
this is good. Good to hear this part of yours, Bhaiya. I'm actually proud of.
But you know what, Priya? But I want our listeners to be addicted to our podcast because it's not that we bombard them every day with a show. We do it once in a week in a very, subtle way, in a very limited set of episodes that we do every month. So I just want people to listen to it, enjoy it, and that's what we do. This is how we do it.
Do on those who have been listening to us, they have messaged us. So don't worry about that, KGB. We are just here to
Yeah.
play our part. Don't worry. They are there.
All
They are.
right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So people who are there, people who
Mhm.
are not listening to it, even this is for you. Just do come back to our show. If you have listened or watched it anywhere, follow it, like it, rate
Don't
it. I
repel
mean,
those people who are listening to us. They'll assume that मैं तो सुन रहा था, the KG has said this thing कि अरे I know you're listening, buddy. Whoever you are, thank you for listening. So we'll just with gratitude, we'll just end this episode, KGB. What's it?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Priya.
Thank
I hope
you.
this is not your last episode on this show,
No, why?
but
Why
we'll
you saying this?
we'll think about it. We'll think about your employment this weekend. Um,
Are you giving
with
me
that,
money? Okay.
we'll talk about the money part later. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Have some chai, okay? Okay.
All right, and some sweets, and bye bye.
Bye.
Hey there, thanks for listening to the podcast. Just in case you liked the episode, do leave us a rating and follow us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to. It will be of great help if you share the podcast with your friends and tell them what podcast you're consuming. And you can also send us your questions, suggestions, feedbacks, and AMAs at pleasesaythatagainmate@gmail.com, or you can DM us on our Instagram. Our handles are there in the description of the show. And with that, I'll take your leave and see you again next week.